Charging by contact, or otherwise known as charging by friction, occurs when you have two insulators that are basically in contact with each other. Now, when you have these two insulators in contact with each other, there is friction that is required in order to create a charge. An example of charging by friction, charging by contact, would be in the wintertime. If you walk on the carpet, your socks are an insulator, the carpet is an insulator. And when those two insulators, when they rub against each other, they create that friction, which transfers the charge from the one object to the other object. What we have here, in order to figure out exactly what charge is which, we have something that we call the triboelectric series. And the triboelectric series basically describes what happens when you take two insulators and rub them together. So, for example, if you took a piece of glass, and if you rub the piece of glass with a piece of silk, the glass becomes positively charged, the silk becomes negatively charged. If you were to take a piece of rubber and rub a piece of rubber with, let's say, fur, for example, the rubber would become negatively charged, the fur would become positively charged. Now, the triboelectric series was basically developed through trial and error. There was a lot of empirical work that was done, a lot of lab data that was collected, and there's a list that was developed that lists all the different items that have been tested to say which one's positive, which one's negative. Now, it's not just strictly positive and negative, it also describes how strong the charge is. For example, some items, when you rub them with fur, might have a better positive charge than other objects rubbed with fur. So it might have a stronger charge than other objects. So it's not just about the type of charge, it's also about the strength of the charge as well. Key thing, though, is that you really don't know exactly what the object is going to be unless you either positively charged or negatively charged, unless you consult with the triboelectric series. So in our examples, in our labs, and what we're going to be doing in class, we will know one or two set things, and once you know one or two set things, then you can figure out everything from that one or two set things. But if you ever were curious, the triboelectric series is a great reference to figure out exactly what charges two objects have when they are rubbed together. And again, they have to be insulators.